bilo
Ker
narobe.
ni bila hiša narejena, ne? A veš, ko so se pojavili prvega septembra. Hi everybody and welcome to the 11th edition of LJUBLJANA Talks. Here today with me is, as always, Jan Oršič from Ljubljana Tourism Convention Bureau, and our great guest today, Meta Pavlin Avdić from agency prvi.prvi, general manager of the agency. Meta, behind you there are 2 decades of working in the biggest Slovenian hardcore marketing agencies.
Yes.
Futura and PR and Futura and Pristop.
Yes.
And now, how does it feel to be in your own agency?
Well, I should probably say first, thank you for having me here today. Nice company. I'm looking forward for this debate. Well, working in biggest advertising agencies for two decades, really. And now being on my own with 3 different partners, just experiencing sustainability management and sustainability marketing and communications, it really is what should I say, really a reviving thing, and I feel like a new person after I entered this area of communications. Because, you know, working with big agencies, you really start to follow the same routine, you work with the clients on the same thing, and at one point you really start to miss your purpose. You know, what am I doing here? What is my person as a purpose as a person in this industry? And
I can feel you are a strong believer in sustainable business. That's why you get this certificate from the Cambridge University, which is a certificate of sustainability in business management. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
This was a great course that I took about 3 years ago. It is an 8-week course on Cambridge Institute for Sustainable Leadership, and it really gives you a total different point of view on your life, on the business that you do, on companies that you work with, and for that reason you kind of feel that you have to do something, you know, you have to participate to change the world that we live in and to make something better for the future.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We are both coming from this event business, actually, which is of course not really a clean industry, to be honest, with all of us, you know. And I will start with the provocation a little bit, that we are like turkeys voting for Christmas. What can you say about it, Jan? I mean,
I think for turkeys, you know, in Christmas, I think sustainability is an essence of what we do. It should be, but it is focused on the economic and the social element. So everything we do for events, for the meetings, it's to boost the economy, to make it, you know, go another year, to turn it around another circle and so on. But we've seen that, you know, it is not turning because there's too many things wrong with the environment, basically. And I don't know about the turkey thing. I'm really like, but I understand exactly. I mean, with Gorazd, we've been talking about this for quite a while. We've noticed that there's people that have tremor shame, that you have a feeling of guilt every time you book a plane ticket, that you think about where am I going to stay, how am I going to move around, what, you know. I think there's a lot of these things, and with Ljubljana, because this is, you know, your home time as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I think what we've seen is we've been talking about sustainability. We started it, and and as we are implementing this, now the recognition is coming. Now there's people saying, "Oh, we recognize you for sustainability." We brag about the recycling center. I mean, there's not a lot of cities that will go, "What's the attraction in your city?" And we go, "Oh, recycling."
Yeah.
And that, for me, that's a thing of pride. But yeah, as an industry representative, it is so tough sometimes to talk to our colleagues and say we have to do things differently. We have to make the group smaller. We have to perhaps not do an event. It's blasphemy. It's, oh my God, and you get a lot of bad feelings from that side. And I think what you're trying to do is to make an event, Conventa more green.
Yes.
That is going to step on a lot of toes as well.
Yes, now we are in a difficult phase. I told you that, Meta, but it's about communication too. What
Do
you're
you feel
saying.
like a turkey now?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sometimes. But it's a lot of things are connected to communication and your business.
Yeah.
So one more provocation. What is your opinion, Meta and Jan, about this campaign Triglavski ledenik u Pekingu?
Oh.
Yeah, I need to provoke you a little bit.
Okay.
Is it a good campaign or a bad campaign from point of view of communication?
Yes. I think that is good for one basic reason, that it opens questions, that it opens the debate, so that we can share our opinions and we can argue with each other, and we can make other good cases that we want to present. And, it opens the platform for communication. That is really good.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you have questions whether this was the right thing to do, to go with a car, to visit every single Olympic city. What will happen at the end with this? Okay, we invaded the nature, the whole problem that we are discussing about, discussing about, and now we took a part of it and make this impossible trip just to prove something. But yes, we did prove this, and this campaign really took into consideration the media, It knew what they will trigger on, It knew that they will, oh my God, because we Slovenes, what we are like. We are like, we want always to make these huge big things that are small people on the planet,
exactly,
and we did that. Oh my
Guinness,
God, we
Guinness
did that,
Book of Records. Always,
Guinness Book of Records. Yes.
You're right.
And yes, it opened discussion, and it opened really did make the point on what it wanted to.
And this is now, it comes down to why it's not now the right time to be communicating these things. Is it because we as the world, the society, the global community have finally realized something new, or is it because the new generations are different?
Okay, I think if you look into data, you know that there will be, I don't know, consumer research, they say 75% of all the consumers support, or even more, support sustainable lifestyle. They want to live sustainably, and yes, they are prepared to live sustainably. But when they come to the store and they have to buy something, it's only 15 to 20% of those who really do this, The reasons are different. They don't have enough money. I don't know, maybe they are just attracted by the packaging and so on. But the gap is really still too big to be able to say, yes, we are there. We want, all of us want to go there. The mainstream is the problem, You have this 50% of people on the planet that already live sustainably, and they practice sustainable lifestyle, and they want everybody else to engage
Knowingly
into
or
this.
unknowingly? That's the question.
Knowingly, 50% knowingly.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
But the rest, the mainstream, that's the problem, They are like used to overconsumption, they are used to convenience. On some declarative state, they can say, of course, we want a better life, we want to live sustainable.
So
But
you could
when
take that piece of ice from Triglav, and by the time that the camera shut down, they take it and they crush it and they make nice cocktails with umbrellas, you know, that kind of.
But I was waiting for this, and I didn't know what will happen at the end with this pack of ice, you know. And I really love the idea that they put it into 3 different bottles, and one will be in the museum, the second one I don't know where, I don't remember when. But it is a statement that will last, you know.
Let me read something to you. What is your general attitude towards the impact of climate change on organizing events? This is another provocation. This is a real research we are doing right now, and the sample is not big enough at this particular moment, but it will be bigger. Does not concern us is 9.54%. It might have some impact on our work is 43%. And climate change will affect our work tremendously. We need to adapt. 46%. As you said, 50% of people are obviously aware of that something is going on. But what is really problematic is the rest of the 50% which are not aware. So, yeah. Do you feel the same when you're doing these projects actually on a daily basis?
Yes, but I think that the problem is probably in communications in the last period, the last 10 years, how it was done. It was mostly like more PR than advertising or engaging communication. It was mostly just warning about the end of the world, if we say it like that the climate change will, I don't know, bring us to, that we are doomed and so on. And people actually, how do we react? We react, first of all, we get scared and we like froze, we do nothing. Or we drop everything and say, I cannot do anything. I'm too small. This should be governments. This should be, I don't know, bigger companies, other organizations that are the ones who should be dealing with it, you know? And where are we then? And when you look at the general public and you think about the way they live today, practice, their practice and everything, you should have known that the only way to enter their mindset is actually to share their views on what they are at this time, and then slowly, in a positive way, to show them the better way to sustainable future, you know? This is like on the events, I have one great example.
Okay.
We are used to all those, I don't know, signs, especially now, maybe after Corona will be a situation like this. We are used to signs saying, please don't throw your masks on the floor, just dump them in the bin, okay? So you go past, you are talking to your friend, you know, and you're almost running down the hall and you see this just vaguely on your right side, and you pass it. And you come in front of the, I don't know, somewhere, and you dump your mask, and where do you put it? Because you just vaguely, just barely caught this sign. But if you would, at the beginning, at the middle of the event, I don't know, in the main hall, put on the floor one mask, and then do a crime scene, you know, like an installation with CSI Miami scene, you know, with the...
yeah, that's correct. You're right. This is a great approach.
That reminds me of the Spanish way of punishing owners who do not clean after dogs.
Okay.
Yeah. They will do a DNA analysis of the poo, and they will come after them, 500 apiece. Awesome.
But
no,
guys,
but you would stop, probably not by the poo. You would stop by this mask. And if the sign would be like, this is a real crime scene, do not enter, or do not, do, I don't know,
a great
do
example.
the same thing, you know? It would be total different approach, the same message, different approach, but...
It's a great idea.
But guys, real life example. I was last week in one big shopping center in Ljubljana, and the guy in front of me at the end, at the cashier, put everything into a plastic bag, everything. He stole the plastic bags from the, I don't know which department.
From the vegetables.
Yes,
and put everything inside. And I was in a situation, what should I do? And then I asked him, do you really need this? And he was absolutely angry.
So
pissed off.
every
every single item.
Yeah.
and he was pissed off like a hell. You know, it was a dangerous situation. And then I said, okay, step back. What should we do in such cases? Because that was absolutely, to me, so annoying and so unbelievable, actually. And I was really in a strange situation. And then I realized it's a little bit dangerous, really.
Yeah.
I had the same. I had
Really?
the same a week ago. Vegetables, bananas. The guy put bananas in a bag.
Yeah.
They're already naturally
Yeah.
enveloped. They come in a package. Come on. And I was kind of shocked, but at the same time I saw that everybody around me was actually on the counter. They were having their own bags with them. So I was like, okay, so we have still those.
Yeah, 50-50.
50-50.
I don't
yeah.
think it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I think it's more like people just don't care in a lot of ways. Or, but I wanted to ask you something. So
I
Yeah.
just think that those people probably have dogs and need those
Oh,
plastic
yeah,
bags.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. That's cool.
For the
could
poop.
be, yeah.
Again.
500
Coming
euros,
back.
I mean.
And this is recycling it, it's okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not so bad, yeah.
So you have an amazing career and you look at, where you worked and the work and all this. What for you was the tipping point to say, I want to do things differently. I want to kind of, go into the sustainability. Was it, how did you feel it?
Yeah. I actually struggled with my job for 3 years before I decided to go. It was like, I enjoy it, I don't, it's just a big that I have to, go
Yeah.
through and so on. And in the last 2 years, I was working on several projects. They were somehow linked to sustainability, or even maybe better to say social responsibility. And I kind of enjoyed, and I found this, as I said, purpose. Purpose is really a huge word now in sustainability. It brought me back to the reason why I started this career, why I decided for this career,
Would you say that you felt what so many people are feeling now, that they're leaving jobs? Do you see there's a link with that, or do you think it's another thing that's happening in the marketplace? Everybody's talking about the great resignation.
Yeah.
Would you say that you kind of felt this same thing, or it was a business opportunity that you saw and said?
No, it was not. It was first, it was the decision not to work in this concept, in this, mechanism that I was part of anymore, and to do something different that could really have that my knowledge that I actually gained through 20 years should have or could have something really important, something good, some good results for the community, actually everyone,
Yeah, for the future, at the end.
for the future.
So
yeah,
you
for the
you
future.
were the trendsetter. I mean, there is a lot of this now talk how it's the generation Z, right, that we're talking about, how they want to everything, how they work is to change the world, how they use social media is differently how the previous generations would, and so on. And it's exactly this changing the world idea. I think that's great.
I think that they are definitely
You were
something that
trendsetting.
they are generation Z is actually is definitely something that we are hoping for in this concern. But as always, there has to be the old ones, the veterans, the ones with experience that can also participate and actually lead
That's correct.
the way.
That's correct.
So this happened with agencies when digital marketing emerged, young girls that understand the media different than we, the old ones, but they were still naked without us,
But Meta, I was really surprised yesterday. One of your colleagues and our colleagues, David Bruketa, wrote in one of the magazines that if you want to be a patriot, you need to recycle, change the habits towards environment, and pay taxes. That was his explanation, and that's what he's missing in his country. So it's not about politics, and this is such a nice message actually.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's really connected to the marketing scene in general, I think so. There is a shift in marketing towards more responsible marketing, because we are always in a position to be a devil's advocates, and it's difficult sometimes. I understand this dilemma. There are so many ethical questions connected, But I like this short explanation.
I agree totally. I would just add in front of recycling, I would add reducing.
You're right.
This should always be the first step. Otherwise, I think that marketing has this huge power because we actually shape the future. We shape the life that we will probably live or that we should live. You know, we paint the lifestyles through our commercials, through entertainment industry, through films, everything, music videos, and so on. And we should really take our responsibility and turn this into sustainable lifestyle.
Because you are a communications expert, how do you, and because you're a sustainability expert, how do you perceive greenwashing? Because there's a lot of greenwashing around us.
Yeah. I think that there was a research done a few years ago that said I think that they probably tested about 1,000 claims that should be green, but they actually were only one was green, and all the other were like greenwashing. And I think that this is a form of marketing spin when you speak really loudly about something that you are supposedly doing, and it's so supposed to be green, but you are actually doing nothing out there behind the scenes, and is misleading, is deceptive, and the only goal is actually to sell more products and to gain this loyalty and trust from the customers on the basis of wrong claims that are not true.
Do you ever get requests to do a campaign, a project that in its essence would actually not be true? Do you get that?
No. I think that even some greenwashing or campaigns or statements are mostly done by mistake or because they are actually not aware of it. I think that there's 6 or 7 different types of greenwashing. You know, it's not just lying, it's also vague messages. It's, I don't know, exposing only one of 2 devils, you know. It's things like that. And you are used to make advertising campaigns or PR campaigns that are like on a higher scale or maybe put into, I don't know, they're not truly, you know, they're not true as they were supposed to be. And this is our habit. This is our habit from long time ago, when consumerism was really a big plus, you know, and where we were supposed to, I don't know, maybe just a little bit lie to make things more attractive, to make the product more attractive, and it's a habit that sustainable communication should really get rid of.
You wrote an article about planting trees once.
Yes.
And you were talking about the lowest hanging apple. So in a way, for an advertising company, you know, I think that's the, you know, it's very, very low hanging to go and seek those projects that are kind of on the verge. Do you think that other agencies in Slovenia are following, or internationally, what you're doing, or?
I think that most agencies are probably meeting this topic at this moment because the clients ask them to, because the market is changing, because I don't know, products that they have to promote have these claims and this sustainable aspect. But on the other side, I really think that you have to understand sustainability totally if you want to communicate it and promote it, you know. This is not just a trend. Many still think that it's a trend, that is some project that you have to implement or that is a goal for itself, but it's actually the way that we understand business. It's a business philosophy, it's an upgrade of business as usual that damaged the world, that exploited the planet and destroyed the communities, you know? And it's a philosophy of life and of how you see business, and for that reason you need to be deep into this, you know?
Cool. I really like what you're saying. I really do.
It's great.
Yeah.
But how do you feel, both of you, about Greta? And
About Greta?
the proverb, no more blah, blah, blah.
Please.
No more blah blah blah. This should be said a million times ago, a million years ago.
Exactly.
No, she is of course an icon, and again, media reacted to her because she was different. She was direct, you know, and it's how should I say? It's an avalanche that really opened another discussions and things to move to another direction.
Yeah, she did a lot also for autism and for children.
I think she's
this
kind
is now
of
more acceptable, so it's not a taboo anymore.
in a way because she comes from an environment and because of her upbringing and all this. I think that she represents this, scream that perhaps was actually there, this voice of everybody knows how corrupt things are and how people are doing horrible things for, to gain the smallest of profits. I really like the comparison, that they're willing to sink a ship to steal the toilet paper. And I think she was right there, she was the tipping point to this new generation that can identify with her because she's so young. And she will outlive most of those blah 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 makers right now, whether they like it or not, and I think that the youth in this way are on the right way. But of course we'll see how strong we are in our own ways of communicating this, you know.
I would totally agree, and also not just for personal way we live, but also for companies, small businesses coming on the market, startups, SMEs. There are many of them. There are perfectly shaped new brands that really make this difference. That they ask from the bigger companies that are traditional and 200 years on the market to change. Like Tony's Chocolonely, I love this brand.
Okay.
And Patagonia, also, their marketing actually is not like we are used to it. It's not above the line advertising campaigns. It's just always being out there when we need them. They are saying we are against this law openly. They are activists.
They are, yeah.
For that reason, they have many followers who trust them and who are also willing to change according to their way. They are dropping fast fashion. They are deciding for second-hand Patagonia clothes.
I absolutely agree with you. You're working with Ekologi Brez Meja, which is NGO here in Slovenia. I'm working with another one. And to get trust from them, it's not an easy thing. Do you agree, Meta? You need some time to get trust from them.
From whom?
From NGOs working on sustainability. And this is really a process. It's not something you can just...
I never thought about it like
that. But it is definitely. I had that feeling, they are quite, reserved towards marketing and business, and this is what I feel. And when you are when they realize that you're honest to them, then it's exactly the same with Patagonia, probably. And this is how I feel it, and when you have this trust, then it's much easier,
And it functions in both ways,
like
Ecologists Without Borders in Slovenia, they started to work with to build partnerships actually with different companies because they don't have the insight, they don't have the knowledge, companies, and NGO has that and also has the measurement systems, and it has other things that can influence the company to step on a greener way, or
but to be a little bit self-critical, in marketing, where you are really active, and also in Slovenian Advertising Association and so on, there is ethical standard. It's in bylaws of Slovenian Marketing Association about the greenwashing and so on. But on our field, we do not have something like that. So we have, now we are sometimes really pushing that marketing is there was advocates, but basically we need to do our homework to have this basic standard. What
Yeah.
is ethical in organizing events and what is not ethical. So
Yeah.
a lot of work to do.
I mean, we come from an industry that is so related to the hotel industry, to the catering business, to the logistics. I mean, huge logistics. And everything that goes with it. So it's the spaces that we use, there's so many things. And it's so difficult to go and to speak to, to a hotel and say, guys, it's great what you're doing, but this is not really working. It's not enough. It's not just about changing the light bulbs, but I think it comes down to measurement.
Yeah.
They do not do the measurement. They don't know how much electricity they spend. They see it in the bill, but because they're so big, they don't know that perhaps there is a simple action to be done. It's these little steps that sometimes are critical, just like in communicating, our sustainability.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah. Sure.
Change the microphone.
Yeah.
What do you think, how would they react if you would come to them and say, okay, I have this next event, it's really huge one, it will be a total success, audience from all over the world, but the only thing that we need to agree on is that it's a carbon footprint would not be bigger than XX.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and that would be the KPI. Okay.
Okay.
And then they would probably say, oh, but we don't know how to measure that.
Yeah.
And what? Because I'm asking you this because in sustainability, in sustainable business, building partnerships and making new processes and new ways of doing business together is really a strong point. So if you would help this hotel, this, I don't know, facility to come up with a measurement, and maybe you have an, I don't know, external partner, and you do this together, could this be the start for the whole industry?
You're right.
Absolutely. I mean, I definitely take the standpoint that the public sector, we as a DMO, so destination marketing organization, we should be those who are imposing these actions. And we've been actually working on this. Predominantly, we were working with some partners with getting the partners certified. So through the process of certification, they go through the process of analysis of how it all works and where they're losing energy and so on. So that is a step that we've been doing even before COVID. We started with these workshops and trying to bring our partners to get certified. There's always two excuses not to do it, because it's not the money. It's not the money. It's time and who. So I think this is where they're struggling. And most of the tourism industry right now will keep on having that same excuse, because right now there's so many requests coming in.
Yeah.
So who will do it? I need them to make money, not to run around the facility measuring stuff. The other thing that also has to be put across is that every certification has to be, at the end of the day, it should be international, so that it is internationally comparable. So that again brings in certain challenges for a lot of them, also for the local partners. How will they measure? Because what we do, we are a partner of GDS Index. So we measure the entire destination on it's the global index on destination sustainability index. And through those questionnaires, as they're developing, we see where our faults are. And we try to fix those every year again. So those are some of the things that we are doing to be achieving that. But of course, these things take time. we have the first agencies that would have eco-certification. We have some of the hotels picking up on eco-certification. The government has had a concourse to finance those, and they were very successful. So I think they're going to be repeating that. And I think there's a huge elephant in the room, and that is that TripAdvisor is now putting on a badge if you're a sustainable business, and the Google is gonna identify you as a sustainable business if you are certified.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but you need to be a believer. Otherwise, and that, coming back one step back.
But I think that we can go and we can say you really need to do it. You really need to do it. But it's easy to find an excuse. That's all I'm saying. But now, as we are changing how we are doing business, and how the Google search optimization is done, we are going now so deep into the decision-making process. I think that's going to be the big boost. I think that's something that's going to push a lot of those who were undecided or were kind of keeping it off to go there. So I think we're going there. We're still not there, but we're going there. And not just.
I would add that, of course, the basic unit of our business are events. So basically, event organizers need to do something first, and then we can come to suppliers with, as you said, Meta, at the beginning. Then we can come to the suppliers and push them a little bit, in a nice way, of course.
But there is another problem we have with that, and it's not the right word, problem. There's another challenge with that.
Okay.
The thing in our business, and I think in advertising is the same. So the client gets an idea, and they say to an agency or a contract partner, we want to do this. And then this contract partner goes out, and let's say that they want to do a meeting, they want to do a conference, they want to do a congress, whatever. And they send out 13 different RFPs. And that is the unsustainable bit, because now there's at least 13 people in 13 destinations doing the exactly same job, which at the end of the day is a huge waste of time, huge waste of resources, that people are now trying to scrabble together the information. And this can then take, a month and a half, and then the client says, oh, perhaps they're not actually doing it at the end. And we are wasting all this energy on the other side. So I think there should be a talk about saying, look guys, just make up your mind. Pick up 3 destinations. There's all the data you need, everything, the size of rooms, the hotel number, the accessibility. This is so easily measurable. Just pick up 3, not 15. And that would be a huge change for the destinations, for our partners in the destinations, and the time that we spend.
Now imagine not just sending 13 mails, but preparing 13 concepts, 13 ideas that we, not 13, but at least 3 we usually do for the clients just as well. That brings me back at the beginning to the brief. If they know it exactly what they want it, then probably they don't need 13 of them, They
Exactly. And this is where I really try to implement my marketing know-how and pushing all these clients I have to think in a brief way, let's say so. But this is sometimes really difficult in this event business. On a high level, when we are talking more about experiential marketing, then it's everything clear. There is always a brief and pitch and everything, which is normal. But on this level you are talking, Jan, it's a little bit more Wild West. We are coming to the end of our discussion today. As you can see, we have a lot of things to... We just started. But let me provoke you with the last provocation. As I said, at Conventa in 2009, when we started, the carbon footprint per participant was 190 kilograms per participant. That means in 3 days, you can imagine, it's quite a big disaster. Now it's a little bit better, but we are still not happy with that. Where should we start? What is your advice to us, actually? What is the first thing we need to touch, actually?
Well, you said that you did already.
But just to say to the people too, where should we start?
Okay.
Yeah.
I usually say that you should always return to the beginning and rethink everything, you know. If you are now at, I don't know, in this moment, you have to first measure everything that you do, whether it's an event, whether it's a marketing campaign. You need to know where you are, you know. So first measure CO2 or carbon footprint, or the other ways that you produce, time that you spend, and everything. You know, the relations that you have with your employees and partners and so on. And then go back at the beginning of everything and rethink. When we speak, I don't know, about the waste that we make, rethink what could be reduced, what could be reused, what could be recycled, you know, all the 3 R's, and then decide which measurements you will make. You know, that also goes for the whole supply chain. You know, it's your responsibility to have sustainable supply chain if you want to be sustainable. You have to change the partners that are not sustainable. You have to go right at the beginning to the source. You know, where do where do we get our basic materials that we produce things from it, and so on. It goes on and on. But you go through all your processes, all your relationships, all your steps during the preparation of the event, and you try to make it more sustainable. But you have to know which are your sustainable standards.
And meta provocation, one more provocation, is it more expensive or cheaper if you do like you said, to rethink? And
I think that sustainability is really a good business opportunity, because till now we have only understood the growth of the profit in this way. You know, it can only be higher. You must produce more for better price and so on. But now we have to think of it like horizontally, you know, new business models, new opportunities, different share business model and so on, you know. And you come to a different scope of business that you do, and this is a business opportunity.
Do you have your favorite example of an event or a change that you've contributed to?
Well, I was part of the last Slovenian Advertising Festival, and we pledged that we will, until 2030, become zero waste event. So, thumbs up for this process.
Very good. Cool. Bravo. Well, Jan, the last word is yours. Yeah.
Well, I think we've really touched on something that I think we're just kind of starting to open up a debate. So perhaps we can continue this debate on a different time, but we are always on a same half an hour schedule, more or less. I think sustainability is going to be a huge topic coming up, and the destinations, everybody's working on this. We see, you know, how incredible. Hi to my friends in Gothenburg. The incredible work that they're doing, because they are the #1 destination in sustainability. And we can learn so much, but at the same time, I know that they're also watching everyone. They're constantly learning, and this is something that we should perhaps kind of take out. We need to be learning to be different.
That's and building partnerships.
Very good. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. Stay tuned. We are always with you on the last Wednesday every month, and the next guest will be announced soon. Thank you. Have a nice day, and think green, and power to the meetings.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.